everyone, and welcome to another house building video in The Sims 3. Today I'm actually building a very small house. I'm building a tiny house. It's a 5 by 3 and it's a very small house. And it's actually inspired in the tiny house movement, or the houses from the tiny house movement. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can easily Google it or search on YouTube, but it's basically just a movement of people who live in very tiny and small spaces, but that they do the best they can and they take the best out of it. Some of the houses look amazing and they are very small. And it's just really interesting to see what people can do with such a small spaces, and they look very nice too. So yeah, I was inspired because I always enjoyed the idea of living in a small space. I never liked the idea of living in a mansion or in a big house with a lot of rooms. I think it feels kind of lonely. So I I always enjoyed the idea of small houses, and I searched and I really liked the tiny house movement. And for a couple of years now that I would actually love to live in a shipping container or 2 shipping containers, but to do a house out of shipping containers, I would love to do that, and maybe someday I will, and I don't know, but yeah, I love that idea. I think it's very cool. So yeah, I decided to do a really small house inspired on those houses, and this is a 5 by 3. It's very small, and the kind of challenge was to put everything that your sim needs in this house and still make it look nice, because at the beginning I was going to do a 4 by 3, which is totally possible to do, but I wanted an extra space to do some decoration, so I ended up going with a 5 by 3. You can actually do a 3 by 3 in The Sims 3 if you have Island Paradise or Into the Future, because of the all-in-one bathroom. You can totally do a 3 by 3, or if you have like the loft beds, you also need that, the loft beds or bunk beds that only have the bed on top. I think you can kind of find that on the store or in Generations. I don't remember, but there's some expansions that do have those kinds of beds, and they are perfect for this kind of house. And another thing that is perfect is the mini fridge from University Life. So yeah, and I did use all of those in this house. But as you can see, I'm changing the original color because I didn't look the old look of the wood that I was using. I wanted something a little bit more modern, so I ended up changing it. And as you can see, I did build two floors, or two floors, and the second one is very short. The roof is very low. Your Sims cannot use it, and I don't know if you noticed, but I did put in a ladder right from the beginning, and that's because if I would build the second floor first and then put the ladder after, the ladder wouldn't be there. It's just impossible to place a ladder in a so short or lower roof. So I had to place the ladder first because I wanted to create a decorative loft upstairs. And your Sims cannot use it, of course, and it's just for decoration. I was thinking about fun and design, not really think about gameplay, even though if you put your sim in there, everything on the first floor is usable and works fine. So yeah, and even though it's such a small house, it's not a starter home because it's for one sim, and it is 17 simoleons, I think, and it's on a 20 by 20 lots. But yeah, maybe if you delete some of the greenery outside and the decorative objects upstairs on the loft area, the price will go down. And I also put in a computer, so if you delete the computer, the price will go down. But and you can use it as actual starter home, or you can use it as a vacation house, which would go really well, I think. But yeah, it has everything that you need, and honestly I wouldn't mind at all to live in a house like this, even though it's very small. The only thing that I don't like about this house is that because I use the loft bed, you have to use the ladders to go to your beds, and the loft is the same thing. And if this was my house, there would be no ladders for one reason and one reason only. I like to sleep with my dog very much, so I would have to place stairs, like very very thin stairs with very small like steps, just so my dog could go to the bed upstairs, because I do like to sleep with my dog, and I can't stand the idea of the dog sleeping downstairs alone, and it's sad. So yeah, if this was my real life, there would be no ladders. Not because I have a problem with ladders, but because dogs can't go through ladders. At least my dog can. So yeah. But as you can see, I already placed some objects in, and as you can see, the kitchen is very small. There's a sink, and there's a mini fridge and a microwave. So you cannot cook, but you can eat. You can make like those microwave meals, and there's a lot of different microwave meals, especially if you have University Life, that expansion pack. You do have a good amount of different meals that you can choose from. And also, as you can see, I am adding some wood paneling with a very light color on that kitchen area, just to like make a difference between the two areas. And I'm using very light colors as white and that light wood, because if I would use dark colors, this is already just a really small space. If I would go to use dark colors, it would look even smaller. So I have to use light colors to make it look a little bit more spacious and yeah, minimalistic, because you cannot have something like that is not minimalistic in a house that is this small. You cannot have busy things in this space. But yeah, and another thing that I did, and it's kind of like a trick, it's to use shelves in the kitchen area and not cabinets, because in a space as small as this one, you do have to use shelves, because cabinets will make the space look like crowded and very busy. So I ended up going with shelves because they open up the space. And as you can see, I don't know if you notice, and you probably won't notice until the end of the video, but that window under the bed, it's as large as the wall, so it has an amazing view to the sea. I'm building this in the Sims world created by the Sim Supply, the Aluna Highlands, and all of that world has amazing views, but that little window has an incredibly beautiful view to the ocean. And I created this desk office area under the bed, and just I can only imagine what it is like to work there, because it just looks beautiful. At one point I was just looking at that window and be like, wow. But I won't think you guys will notice, because this is speed up I think 8 times, so you probably won't notice. But yeah, as you can see, I'm again using very light colors. It all matches because it's just a small space and it's just one room, so everything has to match in that room. Not very very matchy, but it has to have some kind of consistency to make like sense, and the colors and whatnot. So yeah, and it's a very minimalistic space, and as you can see, I did added a computer in, because I don't know, so your Sims can have, besides a way to make their fun bar to increase like entertainment and whatnot, they can also maybe work from there. I don't know. So yeah, there's everything that you need. There's a bed, and there's the all-in-one bathroom where you can take a shower and wash your hands and your teeth and do your business. And then you have the microwave and the mini fridge where you can eat. And yeah, you have like all you basically need. And if you want to cook, you can have a barbecue outside. I didn't do that, but you can, because the price was already up there, because it's 17,000. But if you like delete this part that I'm doing right now, which is the decorative part and some greenery, the price will go down. Or the computer, if you delete the computer, the price will go down. And this area is just supposed to be like a reading corner. In real life, this kind of area, it's normally where the bed is and where people sleep, but unfortunately in the Sims 3, Sims don't like kind of go in those small spaces because Sims only walk. They don't go like crawling into spaces, so yeah, they cannot use this space. It's just for decoration. I wasn't thinking about gameplay, I was just thinking about like the design and the creativity. So yeah, it's just a little reading corner, a loft area. But yeah, you can delete it because honestly, you'll never. If you are interested in this house, you can like delete this because I mean it has no purpose, to be honest. It was just me having fun decorating. But yeah, I would like to try and see like how much tall does a wall needs to be so a sim can walk under there to make an actual loft. But it has to be, I think, at least 10 steps high, and this one it's probably like 5, so it wouldn't work. But yeah, as you can see, and I'm also going to add a dresser so your sims can also change their clothes. So yeah, it's just like a starter home. It has everything that you need, that your sim needs, I mean. And yeah, and honestly, I don't feel like it looks crowded, and I actually think it looks cool. And besides the fact that it has letters, I wouldn't mind living here at all. I would change the decoration a little bit. And I also added a trash bin so your sims can, if they are messy, can like throw it out even though there's a trash can outside. But yeah, and I'm also going to add some lights to make it a little bit lighter. But yeah, as you can see, it's a very, very small build, so it's also a very small video. But yeah, I did really had fun doing it, and I hope you all had fun as well. And I hope you have all an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Bye!